So now alloying of steel means what is the alloy that is going to be happen in steel. Steel is also a kind of the alloy, but furthermore we are going to mix some other elements so that we can enhance the property of steel as well. Whatever the desired property that we required, that we can do accordingly. Okay, that is known as alloying of steel. Okay, so steel in itself is a alloy, but furthermore we are why we are incorporating some other elements just because of to enhance, to get the desired property that we are requiring, right? That is alloying of steel. So if we go with with the definitions, then alloying of steel involves adding one or more elements to the iron carbon steel. Okay, so steel is a mixture of alloy of iron and carbon, right? And if you are able to recall what we have already made, you know that in a in iron only we have a capacity, or we have a feasibility of mixing 6.6% of carbon, only that. Furthermore, we cannot incorporate. I mean, every material has their own solubility. Okay, so how much other foreign materials that could be soluted, that depends there on their properties, on their efficiencies, right? So which is known as solubility. So if we talk about the solubility of carbon into the iron, which is only 6.6%, 6.67%, right? Which is the maximum that I hope that you are remember when we have discussed the phase diagram. Then we have taught you, and we have seen this behavior of a carbon into the steel, into the basically iron. Okay, and what is steel? If the percentage of a carbon up to 2% into the iron is known as steel, right? So keep in mind these all things and this basic definition, then you would be able to know what is what is the things that is going on in the class in this session. So, okay, so we talk about the iron carbon steel. Okay, so now you are aware, if the carbon percentage into the iron is only or less than 2% is known as steel. Okay, and maximum solubility of carbon into the iron is only limited to 6.6%, right? Now what we are doing this, we are basically mixing some other materials into the steel. It means this is a combination of iron and carbon. Now further more elements is being incorporated into the steel so that we can get the extra properties or efficient or desired properties, right? So the adding of one or more elements into the iron carbon steel to improve its mechanical, chemical, physical properties of its specific application. I mean, whatever the application that we required, accordingly we can improve the properties. Okay, if we are concerned about the mechanical, suppose we are mechanical engineer, so we mostly concern about the mechanical properties. So our concern is of mechanical properties enhancement. Okay, but it could definitely be happen in the chemical, because without being changes into the chemical properties we cannot get mechanical properties change sometimes, right? And especially when we are talking about the alloy, because alloy is a things which is going to be happen at the molecular level, and if different kind of elements in being mixed together, right? So obviously the chemical properties will change, right? If there is no involvement of the other elements inside any material, then material or chemical properties would be same. Okay, but their physical and their chemical mechanical property will change. But if incorporation of other material is being happen, then definitely the chemical properties will be changed, right? Okay, so this is application, specific application means whatever the desire that you are basically interested in, and for that you are making the material, or you are basically incorporating the other material into the steel. Okay, so common alloy of the elements in steels are carbon, chromium, nickel. Carbon is not a good I mean it is just because carbon is already in steel, right? So when we mix the carbon, here it is written because it's a general definitions, right? So in general definition it still contains iron and then carbon, then aluminum, then this is a basic difference. That's why it is written here written here carbon. So don't get confused with, or I mean, you can think about, I mean, it's carbon is already present in itself. So why again we are adding the carbon? So it is a very basic definition, so that you can think about when you have the pure iron, then you could incorporate, or you could have a carbon, chromium, nickel, these all to make a steel. That's why. Okay, so it's just definition of steel. That's why carbon is coming into the picture here as well. Okay, so carbon, chromium, nickel, magnesium, manganese, molybdenum, vanadium, tungsten, silicon, copper, cobalt, sulfur, and phosphor, etc. So, I mean, there are lots of materials, lots of elements are there in our periodic table, and you can see what are the. I mean, you can see here. Yes, okay. So now you can see. I mean, what are the different elements? I mean, this is a carbon, right? Carbon is at number 6. Okay, this is carbon. Okay, if we talk about the magnesium, so where is the magnesium? Here is the manganese, right? This is magnesium, right? I mean, this is manganese, right? 25. If we talk about furthermore, then we have a more elements, vanadium, tungsten, right? So, I mean, if you see here very closely, then you can see different kinds of, different groups or of the elements are also feasible, or applicable to mix into the steel. Okay, so this is not a common. I mean, suppose like if you have the third A group, okay, third A column, yeah, so you can say, I mean, this is only this element: boron, aluminum, gallium, indium. This is, I mean, this is, there is no such a pattern, because many other elements are basically applicable to mixed in the steel. Okay, so different, you can say lots of elements are there. Okay.